this is Kristin Sampson, and joining us for the Her podcast this fall is Lori Morris. Hi, Lori.
Hi, Kristin.
What drew me closer to Lori is her godly parenting and her spiritual focus. And it's been a real pleasure getting to know her. And we have come up with several different topics that we're going to mention later that we're going to be going over this fall. So why don't we start off with getting to know a little bit about Lori. Miss Lori, where did you grow up? Where are you from?
Well, I grew up in the Nashville area mainly. As I was born in Nashville. I spent a little bit of time in Gainesboro, Tennessee when I was much younger, and then we moved back to Nashville, and I went to school in Nashville.
Okay. When did you become a Christian?
I was baptized at Gainesboro Church of Christ in, I believe it was 96, if I'm counting correctly. So around 96 or 97.
Okay. Who was your biggest influence?
My grandmother. Definitely my grandmother. She's the one that lived in Gainesboro. She's why I spent so much time in Gainesboro. And she always brought me up, taking me to church. And she's been my probably biggest influence in all areas of my life.
Okay. Well, that's neat. Grandparents are pretty special.
Yes, she was very special.
Well, what a blessing.
Mm-hmm.
So what did you do after high school? Where all did you venture off to?
Well, while I was in high school, I applied for the Navy ROTC scholarship, and I ended up getting it. So I went to college. The Navy paid for my undergraduate degree, and I went to Belmont University in Nashville and got my nursing degree there, while also doing my ROTC responsibilities at Vanderbilt, across town. Once I graduated, I had my bachelor's in nursing, and I was commissioned as an officer in the United States Navy, and so I spent several years in the Navy. Once I got out of there, several years later, I ended up getting my master's in nurse midwifery, so I am a certified nurse midwife as well.
Interesting. So you've been a lot of places and have seen a lot of interesting.
Lots of places. Lots of places.
So being like you've been in lots of places, so where did you meet your husband?
Interesting story there. Kind of a long story, and I'll try to give the short version, but Andrew and I were in the same youth group as kids at Hermitage Church of Christ in a suburb of Nashville. We knew of each other, but we didn't really know each other then because we're a couple of years apart in age, and as kids, that's a big difference. You don't really know people that are that difference in age. So fast forward, I was about 31. I had just moved back to Nashville, and I happened to see someone who is a mutual friend of us from that era. She's an 85-year-old lady named Pearl.
Aww.
And she started telling me about Andrew. I saw her. We were out to eat. Actually, I was with my grandmother that I just mentioned a minute ago, and she and I used to go out to lunch after church every Sunday. We saw Miss Pearl, and Miss Pearl started going on and on about how I needed to meet Andrew. Well, so I looked him up online when I got home and sent him a message, and that was on Sunday. I kind of told him what had happened, and we went out on Friday. Is that right? Yeah, Friday. He went to church with me. Sunday night, he was previously going to Mount Juliet Church of Christ. He started going to church with me instead. And that was in January, and we got married in July. So it was a pretty quick change.
Yeah. So you are married to Mr. Andrew, and now you have been blessed with three children, and their names and ages are?
So my oldest is AJ, or Andrew Jr., that's what the AJ stands for, and he is 5.5 now. And Ruby is our second child, and Ruby is 3. She'll be 4 in January. Trying to get them straight because the baby, who is Abby or Abigail, she was born in October, so she's about to have her birthday. So I was trying to keep them straight. But she'll be 2 next month.
And they're very, very intelligent children and very, very godly children as well too. I love hearing them sing in church, and they're very good kids. Andrew and Lori are doing a really good job.
Thank you.
So that all being said, I am really excited to team up with Lori to come up with some very interesting, or we find very interesting topics. And we're just going to name just a few. One is becoming transparent. We're really excited about that one. What to do when you don't know what to do. God's timing, which that one is going to be really interesting. And that one's going to be pretty relatable to like waiting for the right person and like your right spouse, and it'll be good. It's going to be very interesting. And then another one would be choosing friends, and That's a fun one. I'm excited about that one.
We also want you to be involved, so please submit below in the comments any topics you'd like for us to talk about and dig into in our future podcasts. Also, be sure to like and share our videos so that we'll be able to reach more women who would be interested in our content and the things that we have to talk about. Remember, our goal is to bring hopeful encouragement and reflection to women across the world in various stages of life.
Be sure to tune in next week for our first full episode, and we'll see you then.
Bye.